Today we're doing NFL player props here on PrizePicks for Sunday, October 9th. Before I get started, there's a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks, or you can use promo code TUFF to sign up. PrizePicks will match 100% of your first deposit. There is also a free Discord link in the description below this video where we're building a strong community where everyone's just trying to help each other win, as well as a Patreon link in the description of this video as well, where I do post all the plays I'm making here on PrizePicks for each sport that I do play: NFL, college football, NBA, MLB playoff starting right now. So go ahead and hit the link in the description below to check that out. I do post on Patreon every single day. But let's get into it, you guys. Sunday, NFL football, greatest time of the year, honestly, in my opinion, to bet on sports in general is right now. We got playoffs coming, MLB playoffs going on right now, NFL season in full slate, college football in full slate, and we got NBA coming up very, very shortly. So super fun time to be, making these prop bets. A lot of sweats going on. Again, do want to mention I'm not a gambling expert. This is not financial advice. These are simply just the plays I'm personally looking at making here, hopefully giving you guys some insight and analysis to help you guys make your own plays. But let's get into it. I'm giving two total player props here that I like on Sunday, October 9th slate. I'm going to have a separate video for Sunday Night Football and then obviously a separate video for Monday Night Football. But these are for the Sunday slates here. Obviously, Patreon. For this video, I'm giving two plays. Patreon probably going to have around 15 plays total. So go ahead and check out that. Let's get into it, though. NFL Sunday slate, October 9th. So the first one is going to be running back here. It's going to be Dalvin Cook. I like his over 77.5 rush yards here. Dalvin has kind of had an up and down season. I know that, as a whole, the Minnesota Vikings are definitely throwing the ball a little bit more compared to their previous years with Mike Zimmer. New coach Kevin O'Connell, obviously coming from the Rams, wants to throw the ball a ton. And I do think, this game against the Chicago Bears, the Vikings are favored quite a bit. Minus 7.5. Over under at 44. Vikings are 3-1. Bears are 2-2, but they're not a very good 2-2. Both those wins I think have been pretty sloppy. But Vikings at home here on the turf, I think a great spot here for the Vikings to get an early lead and feed Dalvin Cook. Now, Dalvin Cook, you can see here, facing the Bears defense, who give up the most rush yards per game, 183 rush yards per game, the most in football by 11 yards. Total rush yards that they've given up, total 733, right, through 4 games as well. And 3 different running backs have actually gone over this number of 77.5. So Dameon Pierce went 20 carries for 80 yards. Aaron Jones went 15 carries for 132, and we saw Saquon go 31 carries for 146. So we've already seen 3 different RB1s in 4 weeks go over this 77.5 rush yard mark, which is what Dalvin Cook's line is currently at. The other game, Elijah Mitchell, combined him and Jeff Wilson, they kind of got close to this here. Obviously, this game was in the rain, and Elijah Mitchell had 6 carries for 41 yards by halftime, so he probably easily would have gone over that number. That game was super sloppy. Definitely some outliers here for this game. But then, A.J. Dillon went 18 carries for 61, and Aaron Jones went 15 carries for 132. So, overall, that Bears defense has been extremely porous against the run. I do think, this has the potential for, some great game script as well for Dalvin Cook. I think, Minnesota, with just their offense and how their offense has been playing, putting up some decent amount of points. I think Dalvin Cook could easily have 40, 50 rush yards at halftime. If they have a nice lead, they're going to continue to feed Dalvin on the ground and at home, on the turf, indoors. I think Dalvin has a great game here. So I'm taking Dalvin Cook over 77.5 rush yards here against the Bears. I do also want to mention, you guys, these lines have been bumping like crazy. And, I can't, as a content creator, I guess, or as someone that gives plays and picks, it's tough, because of these line bumps. And also it's tough because I want to get these videos out in a timely fashion, but I also don't want to put them out too early because, lines could bump drastically and things like that. So, again, if you're watching this video and these lines have bumped, leave a comment below. I'll, asking me if I still like the line, and I will let you know. But I like Dalvin Cook here, 77.5 rush yards. I'm taking the over against the Bears. I don't think there's a better smash spot for Dalvin at this time during the season. I'm taking the over on this one. Going to be another running back prop here. We're going to go with Christian McCaffrey, and I like his over 5 receptions against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Christian McCaffrey, I think finally Baker Mayfield's starting to realize what he has in Christian McCaffrey. Coming off a game where Christian had caught all 9 of his targets for 81 yards and had a receiving touchdown, had a 34-yard catch after the run. Only 8 carries for 27 yards. So I think Baker, first couple of games, he didn't really know what he had or really how to utilize Christian McCaffrey here. But I mean, coming off a game where he had caught all 9 of his targets, I'm expecting Baker Mayfield to really realize now what he has as a check down option. And I like this spot here for Christian. Again, he's only hit this once over his last 5 games. So definitely kind of, you could say, somewhat of a risky play, but I like it a lot for a few reasons. One, like I said, coming off a game, 9 targets, caught all 9 targets for 81 yards. So that's a positive sign. But I also think that, the San Francisco 49ers giving up the second lowest rushing yards per game at 73.3. So Christian McCaffrey on the run is going to have a super, super tough day running the ball from that defensive line of the San Francisco 49ers. Even taking a look at this, right, the top 10 defensive lines, the 2022 NFL season, San Francisco ranked number 1. Okay, ranked number 1 right here. The 49ers pressured Matt Stafford on 23 dropbacks in their Week 4 win, the second most pressures allowed by Rams in under game under Sean McVay. Nick Bosa generated 12 quarterback pressures and now leads the league with 22 quarterback pressures. They're going to get to Baker Mayfield, right? I mean, the Rams had a banged up offensive line, but they're going to get to Baker Mayfield here, which is going to have Baker Mayfield checking the ball down to Christian McCaffrey all game long, in my opinion. Like, Baker Mayfield, if you watched that game last week at Arizona, he had so many batted balls down against that Arizona Cardinals defense. I can only imagine what's going to possibly happen here against the 49ers, which he's gonna just be looking Christian McCaffrey's way all game, in my opinion. We've already seen some, I guess, none of these running backs I would consider pass catching backs have some decent amount of targets and success here against the 49ers already this season. I mean, we've had Melvin Gordon caught 6 targets for 5 receptions. Travis Homer caught 4 for 4, and Darrell Henderson caught 3 of 4. Right, so these 3 guys here, who none of which I would consider pass catching backs. I mean, we've gotten 6 running backs or 5 running backs this season already have 3 receptions against the 49ers, and we're talking about the most elite pass catching running back in the NFL with the over under of 5, coming off a game where he caught all 9 targets here. And I think it's a great spot. I think the 49ers defense, how good they are at stopping the run, they're going to have a ton of plays set up for Christian McCaffrey to get out the backfield through the pass. So Christian McCaffrey over 5 receptions, I think it's a great spot for him. I think at bare minimum, we're looking at a push here at 5. If this goes over to 5.5, I still probably like it. If it goes to 4.5, it's obvious play. So Christian McCaffrey over 5 receptions, Dalvin Cook over 7.5 rush yards. 2 right here, 2 running back ones, 2 elite running backs here. We're taking props on both of them this Sunday, October 9th. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about these props. Drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.